your home should be a place that is a sanctuary. Your home should be a place that welcomes you and embraces you when you return to it, and that you look forward to returning to it each day.
That authenticity, gives us permission to do the same. Welcome back to Overflow Living, Wellness by Design, where powerful women come to release stress, reclaim vitality, and redefine what success means on their own terms. Today, I'm joined by Robin Marshall Clark, better known as Miss This and That. At first glance, our worlds may seem different. Macaron High focuses on wellness retreats and executive performance and self-care frameworks, while Robin inspires her community through home and lifestyle design and what I like to say, which I got from her, romancing the ordinary. But when you look closer, the alignment is undeniable. Both of us believe that your environment shapes your energy, that beauty and intention in daily life are not luxuries. They're essential forms of wellness. And that creating sanctuaries, whether through a curated retreat or a welcoming table, is really about creating space for renewal, connection, and overflow. So in this conversation, we'll talk with Robin and how she builds beauty and peace into everyday living, and how those same principles can inspire you to design a life where your well-being and your vision flow in harmony. Welcome, Miss This and That,
Thank
Robin
you for
Marshall
having me,
Clark. It is my pleasure having you here with me today.
I'm so excited.
The audience. And I am just so excited for them to learn more about you and how you design your life. So I guess we'll just start off with some questions.
Sounds good.
I would say the first question is, who are you? Tell us about yourself and how you got to this point in your life.
So, as you mentioned earlier, I'm Robin Marshall Clark. I am the daughter of a woman who thought that life was meant to be lived, and she imparted that in me. Now, I have to be honest that I didn't always honor that or take that to heart and believe that when I was younger. But as I've grown in wisdom, those things are definitely coming out in me, and I've begun to share those things on my Miss This and That platforms. I believe that you don't need to just exist in your life, that you need to live your life. Now, what that looks like can be different for different people, but whatever it is, life is meant to be lived.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Sometimes, I would say a lot of times we certainly forget that life is meant to be lived.
Absolutely.
We get so caught up in the routine of life where we go through life almost in a hypnotic state,
Absolutely.
Just going to work, going home, or going here, going to the grocery store, going home. And, it happens to all of us when we're driving down the road and you're like, oh, how did I get here?
Absolutely.
Because we weren't consciously thinking about it. And so that is something that I am striving to do too, live more intentionally,
yes,
beautifully, consciously, to be more present,
yes,
as they say.
I definitely lived in that hypnotic state at one point in my life. And when I look back on those years, when I tap into my emotions and my happiness and stuff, it was not what I desired. I was not as happy as I could have been, or what I desire for myself to have been back then. There was a shift and a point in my life where I decided to break free from that, from the hypnosis, from the mundane and the routine, and to be able to pivot my life so that, one, I create happiness for myself, but also that I create happiness and joyfulness, or at least I try to, for others in the things that I do. And some of those things are so natural and innate in me, and I think I get it from my mama.
I know you get it from your mama. I met your mama.
Yes, you did. Yes, you have. And so not only was it things that she shared with me, but things that I got from her naturally as well.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be something grandiose every day. Some grand
not at
plan every day, some grand activity every day. And that's why I like how you say romancing the ordinary.
Yes.
So your profile describes you as a romancer of the ordinary. So talk more about what that phrase means to you and how you translate that ethos into your everyday life, those stories, the decor, the things that you share online.
So romancing the ordinary means there are things that we have to do and experience on a daily basis. But that doesn't mean that they have to be plain, ordinary, not inspiring, or anything like that. We can take just a simple glass of water and pour it into a crystal glass instead of drinking it out of the plastic bottle if you're at home.
But I'm supposed to save that for fancy occasions.
So I have a whole story about that. In my hometown, Albany, Georgia, there's a river that flows through there, Flint River. Flint River is a tributary of the Mississippi River. One particular year, there was a heavy snow load up north that melted and added a bunch of water to the Mississippi River. Well, you know how it flows. And when it got down to Georgia, it flooded my hometown.
Wow.
We all have probably grown up in homes that had dishes and tableware and things that were for the special occasions. Well, we watched my grandmother's special occasion, china, flatware, crystal. She worked hard for that. We watched it float away.
Wow.
In that flood. Yes, they worked hard for those things, and those things meant a lot to them to be able to achieve having those things. At the same time, we need to be appreciating those things by using them more often. So again, you can pour your water into a wine glass, and you can have your makeup brushes in a beautiful container on your bathroom counter. Excuse me. You can have all kinds of things in your everyday life that take your experiences from ordinary to romantic, or just take them up a scale or a level.
Yeah. And I think doing just little things like that mean a whole lot, because then it is like an outward demonstration of how you care for yourself.
Absolutely.
I care enough about myself to want to dwell in a beautiful space. And it doesn't have to be so grandiose. It could be where I drink water out of a crystal glass.
Absolutely.
Or put my makeup brushes in a beautiful container, something like that. And I think subconsciously even it impacts us positively, because it further ingrains in us that I can live beautifully, and I deserve to live beautifully. And that then adds some just zen, some peace and joy.
And there are things, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off,
you're
but
fine.
There are things in our homes that will allow us to live beautifully. So I don't actually have to go out and purchase all new things and bring in all new things in order to live beautifully. Use the things that you have. Don't just let them sit around and collect dust or wait for the special occasion. Every day is the special occasion.
Every day is the special occasion.
And use your things and live a beautiful life.
Every day is the special occasion. So you said that home decor should be about sanctuary and peace rather than perfection. I like that because sometimes we get caught up in things being just so, and then we don't want to use stuff because it's supposed to stay just so. But how do you guide your audience toward embracing beauty, even in the imperfect and the real?
So I think that most of us are on social media, and there are lots of images that are out there that flood social media that and try to influence us to lean towards perfection as opposed to beauty and purpose. When you lean towards perfection, then you are constantly chasing something, the next thing, the whatever you're influenced for, as opposed to appreciating the beauty in things. And sometimes those are things, oftentimes those are things you already have or things that have been passed down to you. We're not necessarily going for new all the time. There is beauty in a very well made piece of furniture. And in today's manufacturing, that's probably going to be a piece of furniture that has some age on it. We want to make sure that we are keeping the focus on living a well life and creating a beautiful space, or as opposed to always trying to seek perfection. There are some things that I have in my home that have the edges of the furniture are worn. There may even be a piece missing. I have a beautiful mirror over my mantle that was my mother's that has a crown on the top, and pieces of the crown are missing. But I wouldn't change it for anything because for me, that adds to the character, that adds to the beauty, that adds to the story. And those are the things that I try to encourage my audience to seek out, to take those pieces that you may inherit or that you may be given by family members, or if you haven't been able to receive things from family members, things that you seek out when you're out and about shopping for certain pieces, is you're seeking things that are not necessarily always brand new, but things that tell the story, continue to add to the richness of your home. Your home is a place, should be a place that is a sanctuary. Your home should be a place that welcomes you and embraces you when you return to it, and that you look forward to returning to it each day. And so that can be added to and happen through the things that you bring in, including furniture, decor, and how you set up your home.
Yeah, I agree. I think, the imperfections add interest and add character.
Absolutely.
And add personality and uniqueness. It's not the cookie cutter, because we've all been through those neighborhoods, where everything's cookie cutter.
Yes.
The lawns are cookie cutter. And even when you enter into certain spaces, you can tell, like, even some of the furniture is similar, which is fine. But I think it's when we are in spaces where things don't match, you know, and that adds to the interest that catches our eye, the character that kind of engages our attention and adds to, those interesting elements.
It absolutely adds interest. It adds intrigue. It makes you start to think and question, I wonder where they got that from, or does this piece have a story? Was this handed down from a relative that has an interesting life? It's as you as the visitor start to wonder those things, and then the homeowner can share the stories if there are stories with you, and then that just makes the home that much more, to me, it enhances the warmth and welcome.
Gives you an insight into them, their personality, and their family. I always like that. Your tablescapes we love, and they often feel intimate and so thoughtful. Can you walk us through your process of creating a tablescape that invites connection and mindful presence when you're having your dinner parties and things like that? Those are such great events where, as an attendee, we always feel so loved. And so it's always a treat to enjoy your table because we get to bask in love, from all the details. They say love is in the details.
Mm-hmm.
And we see that and we get to experience that. And like I said, bask in the love. So, what is your process when you are designing your tablescapes and when you are preparing for one of your fantastic dinner parties or brunches?
It's funny you should say love is in the details because, again,
Mhm.
that's one of the things that my mama used to
Mhm.
say over and over again because I get this, and
Mhm.
particularly and specifically this piece of my life
Mhm.
from her for sure. She threw some of the most fabulous, most intimate gatherings and parties, and I feel like I picked up the mantle and carried it on
Mhm.
for her. So as for my table settings, it is intentional. It's
Mhm.
very intentional. The people that I invite to my gatherings, part of the way that I show them how much I care about them is with my table settings. One of my love languages is acts of service, and particularly entertaining and cooking.
Mm.
Um, and so for me, the people that I invite to my home, they're worth the effort that it takes to set a beautiful table and to have fresh pressed linens. They're worth the effort that it takes to make the dishes that I serve or to seek out and find recipes and things that I want to serve them. So it definitely is one of my ways that I express love, and it makes me feel overjoyed to hear you say that
Mhm.
you feel the love
Loved. Mhm.
when you are attending one of my events.
Mhm. And we just want to stay like, oh, just stay forever, like in a little bubble, like in your little bubble.
So my caftans and cocktails event that I
Mhm.
hosted this summer, I spent quite a bit of time figuring out what my tablescape was going to be. This particular event, I decided to choose colors and the theme that went with the decor in my household because
Mhm.
then that was an extension of the love that the table showed or expressed. It was
Mhm.
also extended into the rest of the home,
Mhm.
at least the areas that we were in. So it just made it a little bit more cohesive, and to be able to again extend that feeling beyond just the table.
Mhm.
When you are putting a tablescape together, it is important that you think about what you want to do, what you're serving. Um,
Mm.
become the guest.
Mhm.
Think through your table setting as if you were the guest and coming in and enjoying the event.
Mm.
That will allow you to be able to think about some things a
Mhm.
little bit differently than just the host
Mhm.
or being the host, because you, as a host, you got your whole list of things that you're
Yeah.
doing. But then, as a guest, what do I want my guests to see? How easy do I want it to be for them to do this, to move from this course to that course?
Mhm.
Are we going to be having self-serve beverages or dessert? Is it a light meal? Is it a heavy
Mhm.
meal? All of those things need to be factored into creating your tablescape. And again, you don't have to spend a lot of money on your tablescape. You could use a lot of the things that you have and still create a beautiful table, which then rolls over and moves into a beautiful
Mhm.
experience.
Even thrifted items, because
Absolutely.
you weave thrifted items and antique finds, they add fresh touches to what you design. How does that, finding thrifted items, antique items, influence the way you think about beauty, sustainability, and soulful living? So, how does that influence how you design?
So again, my mama told me that you can have nice things, beautiful things, but you don't have to break the bank in
Mhm.
order to have those things. So thrifting is one of my favorite ways to find beautiful things at a lesser cost.
Mhm.
And then I can bring those home and incorporate those things into my home. Another thing that I got that my mother passed on to me was an appreciation for beauty and quality.
Mm.
So if you know what those things are, and say you're looking for table linens,
Mm-hmm.
or you're looking for serving dishes or serving pieces when you're thrifting, if you know what quality items are, then you'll be able to spot them when you're in the thrift stores or the antique malls,
Mm-hmm.
and be able to determine, is this something I want to add to my collection? Or is this not worth, is the quality of this item not
Mm-hmm.
worth me adding it to the collection?
Gotcha. So your feed is also, what you post is also full of light, welcoming energy, welcoming images, gardens. You have quite the green thumb, flowers, clean spaces. So what role does simplicity, light, gardening, the flowers play in your vision of well-being? I would say one of the things I used to love when I worked in an office, and I hope to get back to it one day, was having just a little bouquet of fresh flowers
Mm-hmm.
on my desk,
Mm-hmm.
and I would find them everywhere. Like, they didn't cost a whole lot at
Absolutely.
Walmart or at Kroger, because Kroger would have the little discount bin of flowers,
That's where I get my flowers
and
weekly.
so I would do that, and it was always like a light, bright little touch just for me.
Mm-hmm.
And when people would come, they would know, oh, it was just always like a nice little thing, a little accent, having some
Absolutely.
flowers. So
I
mhm.
definitely believe in the impact and the mood changing effects of nature. So as for gardening, both vegetables and flowers, I feel very connected to the earth, and I feel very it's a great place for me to release some of the stressors of the world and that I receive each day in my occupation. Um, so through gardening, I can release a lot of that in my gardening. So gardening has become a big part of how I deal with the ever increasing stressors that come with just living life. Um, and I agree that having flowers on your desk or in your home is a great way to do that. I often, like I said earlier, weekly will go to the Kroger discounted area for flowers and pick up a very inexpensive bouquet of flowers and bring them home. Now, when it comes to my tablescapes or entertaining, I'm a little bit more intentional about the flowers that I want to have, because I can't think of an event that I had that a very important event that I did not have fresh florals. So I might seek out something different for that. But I do believe in the grounding nature of having florals and just greenery in general, plants in your home. It adds a level or a aspect to your home that nothing else can add. As far as being authentic, authenticity is so important to me that I hope that it comes through in both my personal life and in my work life, on my business and my platforms, because it is one of my top 3 guiding principles to be authentic. Most of the images that you see on my platform are images of my home. It's not AI generated, although I think AI has its place in our world today. But for me, the authenticity comes from sharing what I share. And when it comes to AI, we're still the humans in control. So I still get to determine what it is I want to share, how I want it to look, what it is I'm really trying to say. And authenticity is tantamount.
Yeah. And the audience on the other side of that lens get to see you and think, oh, I can do that too. Like, oh, get some inspiration.
Yes.
So I could do that too. Maybe I can do that too. I'm going to try to do that too. So yeah, I like that. That authenticity, gives us permission to do the same.
One of my other tenets of how I do my work is making sure that what I do and what I share is approachable and attainable. I did have a follower share that with me on one of my comments, that they felt like what I was sharing was very approachable.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of doing things just for likes or just to show excess. That is not authentic to me when I think about what I want to convey and show on my platform. And so I do try to make sure, as I'm thinking through my content, what it is that I want to share. Is this approachable and attainable? Do you have to have special crafty skills or anything? Because I think sometimes people forget some of your gifts are not the gifts that other people have. And so what may come very easy and common to you is not that easy and common for others. So either I really try to do things that are approachable or attainable, or I try to break it down. If I feel like, okay, this might be a little bit more involved, try to break it down in a way that makes it more approachable and attainable. Because I want people to be able to look at the things that I post, be inspired, and say, I'm going to give that a try.
Yeah, I like that. Approachability. I like that. What are your rituals right now? I was thinking about that as, the seasons change and things like that. So what are your rituals, whether it's morning rituals, evening rituals? Are they seasonal? Are they momentary? What are the rituals that you incorporate that give you inner renewal? I made a observation about myself, and I'm sure others have maybe done the same. But like in the spring, summertime, it's about less, being free.
Yes.
Just being less and being free and doing minimal, to just kind of enjoy the warmth and the season. Like even like in dress, I find myself wearing more patterns and things because I like a good print, in the spring and summer. And then in the fall, winter, I like layering,
Yes.
I like layering more and the coziness, and I like the moodiness and things like that. So even the way, I dress and the way I, get ready for the day changes,
Absolutely.
So that was just an interesting observation I made about myself. Like I like to be more edgy, I think, in the fall and wintertime, channeling my inner Rihanna. So because it just kind of, it's, like layering fall, winter, you can do more,
Yes,
you can
absolutely.
dress, you can add more.
Absolutely. I think I dress my best in the fall because there are so many beautiful patterns and colors, the richness of the colors and just, all the things. But anyway, back to your question.
Yes. So that is the question, like, what are your rituals right now? And then the rituals that you do have, do they change with the seasons or, or are they pretty much set where you have to have the same ritual to prepare for the day or just kind of center yourself?
I think it's a little bit of both. There are some rituals that I do every day, but there are some rituals that change with the season. So one of my rituals that I do every day is I drink a cup of coffee every single day.
Oh, yes.
So while that came out of a necessity to like get my energy pumped up I'm an educator, so for my job, I also think it has evolved into a time that I can have a warm drink that warms my body and I savor the flavors that I have, that I find and that I sense in my cup of coffee. So it's an opportunity for me to kind of really be in tune with what I'm drinking and the way it's making me feel. Another ritual that I have that is constant, but it's a weekly ritual, is a self-care power hour. So on Sundays, I have an hour, at least an hour, that I spend focusing on me. And the reason why I do it on Sundays is because oftentimes I do something that will help set my mental tone for the rest of the week.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be a bubble bath. It could be reading a magazine that I haven't had an opportunity to read just yet.
Mm-hmm.
It could be listening to a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is, that time, that hour is set aside to just connect and pay attention to me and do something for me that fills my cup. I think there's been a disservice that has happened in our society where women have been made to feel that if they spend any time on themselves, they're being selfish, or they're being made to feel like they're shirking their responsibilities to someone else or to another entity. It could be your job or an organization you're a part of, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you can pour out of an empty cup.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't take the time to fill your personal cup, you won't have anything to pour out to others.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is the time that I set aside each week to make sure that I'm filling my own cup and that I have something in my cup to pour out to others.
Yeah, I like that. And that's why we align so well, you know.
Absolutely.
That's what we believe too. You cannot pour from an empty cup, you know. So taking that time for yourself is paramount. So I believe that wholeheartedly.
I just wanted to add some seasonal rituals.
Mm-hmm.
As we were talking about fall earlier, I do what are called simmer pots.
Oh yes,
and
the
so
simmer
pots, which I have a recent post for an autumn simmer pot.
Now that's something I want to try. I'm like, okay,
absolutely.
I saved it to like, okay, I'm gonna do this simmer pot because it looks so easy. It's approachable. It's not hard. It's easy. You just get your ingredients, your spices. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. The simmer pot. I'm excited about doing it.
I do feel like I do more of those in the fall than I do other times of the year, fall and winter, because scent is a big contributor to your wellness. If there is an off-putting scent, your wellness is negatively impacted. If there is a wonderful, pleasing scent, your wellness is boosted.
Yeah.
So one of the ways that you can add a pleasing, especially in the fall when you want something cozy, a cozy scent, that you can add that aroma to your home is through a simmer pot.
Simmer pot. So and does it last when you do the simmer pot, it's not just for an hour that the scent wafts through your home. It lasts.
It does last, but it also depends on the ingredients you add. You know, some scents are more powerful and long-lasting than other scents. Cinnamon is one of them. So when you do the simmer pot and you use cinnamon, then the scent can last longer. Also, it depends on your smell, your sense of smell.
So I'm looking forward to doing that. A simmer pot. So,
excuse me.
So looking ahead, how do you want your aesthetic, your voice, your values to ripple outward? What kind of lifestyle, legacy, and light do you hope to continue to cultivate through your work?
Well, I think I mentioned it earlier about the authenticity. I feel like, my desire is that the things that I impart and that I share on my platform are also things that can be passed down through generations. I want my platform and my presence that, if it outlives me, that is still something that can be used and taken into the future because they're still valuable beyond just today.
Yeah.
So I try really hard. I'm very thoughtful about the words that I choose. I'm very thoughtful about the things that I share. Because again, I think authenticity is has a long-lasting presence. If you're authentic, if you're not just, caught up in the moment, that you're also doing things that can last for a lifetime and beyond. So that's really important to me. I also want to share concepts and things that, like I said earlier, can be passed on and that can add to someone's their own personal life experience and enhance their life experience. So when I think about the legacy of Miss This and That, I hope that it is, I really try for it to be one that is things that are adding value to your life that you also want to share with others, and carries on in that way.
Thank you. This has been great. So how can they find you? How can the audience find you?
The audience can find me at Miss This and That, and it's the letter N, on Instagram and Facebook.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
I'm so excited. I'm so happy you asked me to join you.
Yeah. So what I love about today's conversation is the reminder that wellness doesn't have to look one way. So Robin has showed us how a simple tablescape or thrifted treasure can shift the atmosphere of a home and create a sense of peace. At Macaron High, we take women away to luxury retreats and immersive wellness experiences. But the truth is, you can also start cultivating your overflow right where you are, in your home, in your routines, in the way you honor the spaces around you. Whether you're designing a sanctuary, we're designing a sanctuary in Bali, that's, something on my list, or in your living room with Miss This and That, the goal is the same: to move from overextended to overflowing, and to remind yourself that you deserve beauty, rest, and intentional living. So thank you, Robin, for sharing your wisdom and light with us.
Thank you again for having me.
To our listeners, may you take today's conversation as an invitation to weave more beauty, more peace, and more overflow into the design of your everyday life. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.